Hi guys, thanks for tuning into the Scan Tool Network. So in this video we're taking a closer look at the iCarsoft POR version 3.0. Is it any good? Does the tool do as it's supposed to do? What do the screens look like? What is the functionality of the tool? Well, hopefully by the end of this video you will be a little bit wiser about this tool and you'll understand the characteristics of the tool and what it will and won't do for your vehicle. Now, this tool is available at Diagnostic World. It's www.diagnostic-world.com. There are fakes, there are clones out there, unfortunately, so do yourself a favour. Use the link in the description below this video because that will take you to the genuine and official product. There are fakes out there, there are clones, and they can damage your vehicle. I've seen it happen. It's not worth going down that route. Okay, that aside, we're in a Porsche Cayman. It's a 2013 Porsche Cayman 981S, and we've got this tool plugged into the diagnostic port. So we've got one end of this cable in the tool, the other end of this cable here runs down into the diagnostic port of the vehicle, which in this vehicle is in the fuse box in the passenger footwell. So this is the screen lit up. It's not a touch screen. You do need to use these dome buttons on the side, which are really good, but one thing I will say is that you can like we've took it off on this screen, on this tool here, but if you click on the setup, there's an option to have a beeping sound every time you switch the button. So there you go. I find that quite annoying, so I just turn that off. Okay, actually while I'm on this screen I'll just show you the languages as well. You can add more languages on if you update this tool via your PC. The updates are free for life with that, but you know, all instructions are in the box on how to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you which vehicles it'll cover first of all. So this covers up to current model year vehicles. So for the 911s it's like the 992 era. It even covers like the new Taycans, the Panameras, the Macans, the Cayennes, and I'll show you this in any case. So we got the 991s, 992, 996, 997, 996 GD2, 996 GD3, 981 Spider, 981 Cayman and Boxster, 982, that's a 718 Cayman and Boxster, 986, it says Cayman and Boxster, but we know the 986 only came with a Boxster, and the 987 Cayman and Boxster, Carrera GT, Cayenne, different model years, Cayman, GT4, the Macan, that's all model years, Panamera up to 17, and then as of 18. So it covers up to current year models, so which is really, really good. Now in this vehicle, we are in a Cayman 981, so we're going to select that. And once you've done that, you can then you then come into a screen where you can do a quick scan of the whole vehicle. So if you find yourself in a vehicle that has a fault, you're not sure where the fault is, you can do a scan of the whole vehicle and it will come back and show you which parts of the vehicle have faults in. So it can be seen as kind of like a general overall health check of the vehicle, which is a really good thing to have at hand if you are looking to maintain and look after your own vehicle, which, let's face it, why wouldn't you? In this vehicle though, what I'm going to show you is the control unit option. So I'm going to click enter, and what this does is this allows us to go in and specifically diagnose a specific area of the vehicle. Okay, so you see we've got an airbag light showing on the dashboard there. That's what we're going to specifically diagnose and reset in this little video here. But while I've got this screen, these options here, so you can see we've got one of 33. That will basically mean that there are 33 systems in this vehicle that we can potentially diagnose. Depending on the vehicle that you're in, the list here will be different because every vehicle has different options added to it and different lists and different systems. So in this vehicle though, we got 33, and while I'm here I'll just do a quick scroll down, just giving you a quick idea of the type of systems that you would be able to get access to. You know, in theory though, you should be able to get access to all of the doors, the seats, the windows, engines, ABS, PSM, transmission, whether it's tiptronic or PDK, airbags, probably a lot of other things that I haven't even mentioned there and forgot about, but there we go. You can assume that it will cover every system in that vehicle. Okay, so we're going to click on the SRS airbag system because that's what we have a fault with, and we're going to click on to read fault code. So this is an example of what you will get. You get a unique fault code and you'll get a description of the fault. Okay, now You don't necessarily need to be any sort of expert on diagnostics. You don't really need to know any of this really. All you need to do is basically copy this information into, I mean, it helps if you try and figure it out, but if you just don't know where to start, copy this information into a Google search engine. You can 99.9% guarantee that if you're getting this fault, somebody else will have also had this fault in the past, and it's generally on forums where you'll find out that, you know, what people have done to actually fix a specific fault or fix a specific fault code. So you don't necessarily need to be an expert or understand all of the terminologies. Like I say, just copy it, put it into the search engine, and there you'll find the answer as to how to fix it. In this case though, it was a passenger side airbag igniter connection which had come loose, and that's what's caused the airbag light. So even when you put the connection back in, the airbag light will stay on, so you do need a tool to reset that. So we can do that just by simply clicking on the clear fault memory, and when I do this, just keep an eye on that airbag light right there. So it says on screen, erase operation done. That should turn off any second. Oh, actually, yeah, I forgot, some vehicles work a little bit differently, and what you might need to do in some vehicles is actually either come out of the system entirely and wait for it to turn off. If it doesn't do that, there we go, it's turned off. Sometimes you might need to just turn the engine off and turn it back on, and then each vehicle generally works a little bit different. In most cases it will turn off straight away. Sometimes you need to back out of that system that you're currently interrogating, and therefore it'll turn the light off. But we've got the light off there, which is a very good sign. Okay, I'll come back to this section in a moment, but what I'm going to do is go back to the home screen, and I'm going to show you this service tab here. So you can see we've got these are like special functions or service functions, these are classed as, and these go over and above the general diagnostics like code reading and sort of warning light resetting. So it'll allow you to do, depending on the vehicle, oil resets, electronic park and brake, new battery registration, electronic throttle calibration, steering angle sensor calibration, DPF regeneration, ABS brake bleeding, injector coding, TPMS reset, and suspension calibration. So that's 10 services in total. Now, if you wanted to find out which of those services, like I say, we've got a list here, they don't necessarily all apply to your specific vehicle. For example, the DPF doesn't apply to this vehicle because it's a petrol engine, and that will only apply to the likes of the Panameras, the Cayennes and the Macans, which are diesel vehicles. But what you can do is you can go in and select your specific vehicle, and I'm not sure if this will work or not. It works in some vehicles and not in others, but if you click into your vehicle, then click into the service icon, this should generally give you an idea of which of those service functions are suitable for your specific vehicle. Now, if it comes up and shows me the DPF icon, then, well, we know it's not right, but we'll get in and we'll check it. There we go. Right, so out of 10, yes, the DPF is not there, so that's a good thing. So it's recognised that the DPF isn't applicable to this specific vehicle. So that shows us that for this specific vehicle, you can do oil resets, electronic park and brake, if fitted, the steering angle sensor, electronic throttle control and calibration, battery management system, so that's a new battery registration, ABS brake bleeding, air suspension if fitted, and other. So you can do some other short codes to the vehicle. Okay, so that is that. Now, what also I wanted to show you, sorry, I should have been in that, I should have stayed in that little area, is live data. So we can get lots of different types of live data on this vehicle. So if you click into the engine, which is this one here, actually I'm going to click into read fault codes. It's a good sign we've got no fault codes, just always worth a check when you've got the tool. Go to view data, and then if you click onto general, this will give us lots of different types of live data. So what you can do is you can just select F2 for all, F1 done, and then you've got lots of different types of live data at your fingertips. Now you can see we've got 43 here. mileage. So this is one that I wanted to show you, 33. It says mileage here 106,636. Okay, so that is reading the mileage from the ECU in kilometers. Okay, now this vehicle, where is it, has 63,154. Now if you convert miles to kilometers, it will come up with 101,636, give or take 1 or 2. So that is a good little way of finding out that the mileage on the vehicle ECU is correct. So what happens basically is, if some people, like some bad guys, will clock the vehicles to make them look like they've got less miles on than they actually have, what they do is when they clock the vehicles, they generally only clock it on the speedometer cluster. It doesn't clock it on the ECU. So the ECU will always be ticking, whereas this might have gone back. So this is a good way of finding out if this reads the mileage from the ECU. So if this is very, very different to what's on there, the chances are your vehicle's being clocked. Don't buy it. This is why this tool is good to take with you if you are looking at buying one of these cars. Now, this is a 2013 model, so I'd say this option here, this part of the live data, is only really available for the 981 and 991 vehicles onwards. All right, so it won't work on, you won't find this option on the 997s, the 987s, the 986s. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. That's just the way the vehicles are, the way the tool reads the vehicle data, unfortunately. And I think it's something to do with like the way the ECU of the vehicle spits the data out. It doesn't offer that information, whereas the newer cars like the 981 and the 991 onwards, they do those ECUs do offer that information to the tools which are being connected to it. Okay, so that's just a little side note there. You can be very specific with your live data as well. So if you wanted to look at live data on your throttle valve, let's see, if we go to F2, we just select all of this, right? So pedal value, for example, it's 0%. I'm going to put my foot on the accelerator, and you can see that is now going up, and all of the other values are fluctuating as I go up and down on the throttle. Okay, so that just gives you an idea of the type of live data that you can get. That might not be of any use to anybody, but your fuel system data, you've got your transmission data, so you should also be able to get, and you get temperature. You should be able to get it somewhere, unless there's an actual temperatures. There we go. So if we go down, you can get your engine temperature, you can get your, should be one for like transmission oil temperature. There we go. And there we go. So if you're looking to do like a PDK or tiptronic oil change, then generally you need to do it at a certain temperature. So this will give you the correct temperature. Now you can get these values when the vehicle is off, so the engine not running but the ignition is on. You can still get access to this live data, so that's what you'd really need to do if you wanted to do that. Okay, but there we go. I've covered that in another video. That is it in a nutshell, the POR version 3.0. You can assume that it's going to cover all Porsche models from the 986, 996 onwards, so it doesn't cover anything like the 964s, the 993s, your 944s or anything like that, unfortunately. It just covers from the 986 and 996 era onwards. And that's it. If you are interested in this tool, like I say, use the genuine tool, the genuine links. It's Diagnostic World, www.diagnostic-world.com, because there you will find the genuine and official products. Fakes and clones can damage your vehicles. It's not worth going down that way, especially when you're spending all this money on a high-end vehicle like this. You're looking to save 20-30 quid on a tool. It doesn't make any sense. So give your vehicle what it deserves. Nice car. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and see you on the next video.